The Year to Their podcast, it's time to start the show. Be sure to hold on tight, here we go. Exploring all the different Disney destinations. Year to Their, it's time to start the fun.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Ear to Their podcast, Walt Disney World Word of the Week. I am your host Phil Gramlich, and each and every week I will be bringing you a new Walt Disney World word. And then I will give you tips, tricks, hints, history about that Walt Disney World word. All right, so let's get right into it this week. This week's word of the week is brought to you by the letter I. I for Illuminations. If you have been to Walt Disney World, you probably know that at EPCOT, there is a nightly show called Illuminations. And if you haven't seen it, I have to say, what the heck are you waiting for? All right, I was thinking about this. How best do I describe Illuminations for people that haven't seen it? It is a fireworks show. It is a laser show. It is a light show. It's full of unforgettable music, phenomenal special effects. And this show is no spring chicken either. This one goes back, the original Illuminations actually goes all the way back to 1988. So I'm positive that a lot of you guys listening right now don't remember EPCOT or EPCOT Center as it was without Illuminations. So as I said, over the years, we've had lots of different versions of the Illuminations show. The original Illuminations show debuted on January 30th, 1988 and ran until September of 1996. During and after that version, that first run of Illuminations was actually a holiday Illumination show that ran between 1994 and 1998. That show actually had an introduction by Walter Cronkite, which is pretty cool. And it went on to have Christmas carols, Christmas songs, in place of the classical Illuminations music. Then on September 21st, 1996, the show was changed again to celebrate Epcot's 25th anniversary. Now that show was, or a version of the 25th anniversary show, ran until January 31st of 1998. The Illuminations 25 show was actually sponsored by GE, as you can tell from this sound clip.
The EPCOT family and GE hope all of you from around the world have enjoyed Illuminations 25. GE, we bring good things to life. Thank you and good night.
Then after Illuminations 25 was all set and wrapped up after Epcot's 25th anniversary celebration, Epcot introduced Illuminations 2000 Reflections of Earth. The original version of that show ran from September 22nd, 1999 to December 31st, 2000. Where actually they just dropped the number 2000. Believe it or not, since January 1st, 2001, we've pretty much had the exact same Illuminations show. The centerpiece of the Illuminations show is the Earth Globe, which was once called the most complicated piece of show equipment ever built by Walt Disney Imagineering. And this thing is massive. It's 28 feet in diameter. It sits on top of a 10-foot pedestal. It weighs 350 tons. Think about that. That's insane. During the show, a little less than 300 images appear on the globe's huge sphere screen that showcases 15,000 LED lights. Honestly, when this thing was invented, when it was created by WDI, I don't think most of us had even known what an LED light was. So talk about being way ahead of the curve on technology. And while the globe may be the most impressive and central part of this show, there's a whole lot more going on during the show. I mean, the fireworks itself are incredible. There are 2,800 fireworks used for each show, right? And these are launched from 750 mortar tubes and 56 firing modules at 34 locations around the lagoon. Talk about a full sensory experience. There are also 20 torches that are spread out all across the World Showcase Lagoon. And these torches rise up almost 30 feet into the air and illuminate the entire area of the lagoon. Then there's the other huge, not even huge, enormous part of the show. That is the Inferno barge. That's one of the big barges that have to go through World Showcase, and they lift the drawbridge up so they can put it out into the lagoon during the day. This thing weighs 100,000 pounds, okay? It sends fire shooting up 40 or 50 feet into the air for every show, all over the surface of the lagoon from 37 different nozzles. And it's reported that It was reported by the Orlando Sentinel that 300 gallons of propane are used for each and every show. Now, knowing all that, obviously this is not an easy show for Disney to put on each and every night. It takes 4 off-duty firefighters about 6 hours to assemble the close to 900 pieces of fireworks for the show. That's a crazy fact to me, right? 6 hours it takes 4 guys to put together a fireworks display for the show. That happens each and every night in EPCOT. That's a lot of work that goes into entertaining the guests. I mean, call me a Disney nerd, call me a homer, call me whatever you want. That is why Disney is the best at what they do. They go above and beyond each and every day to give each and every guest an amazing experience like this. Okay, so just a few more facts about Illuminations for you. The show requires a crew of about 40 people, 4 30-ton barges, and 6 diesel generators each and every night. The World Showcase pavilions have enough lights on them during the show to light up the electronic billboard in Times Square 5 times. And actually, did you know there was one entire pavilion in World Showcase that does not light up for Illuminations? And that one pavilion is the Morocco Pavilion. And the reason is there is a replica of a religious site inside the Morocco Pavilion, and it would be demeaning to light up the pavilion in that way. However, you may have noticed a small section of a different pavilion during Illuminations does not light up as well. Listen through to the end of this podcast episode where I will ask a trivia question about that section of that pavilion and give you a chance to win a great Walt Disney World prize this week. Okay, and last but not least is my favorite fact and my favorite tidbit about Illuminations. The narrator of the show, the guy who, and I can't do the voice, but I want to read a little bit of it. The guy who says, "Good evening. On behalf of Walt Disney World, the place where dreams come true, we welcome all of you to Epcot and World Showcase." That guy, the guy who does that narration, is none other than Jim Cummings, who is pretty well known to Disney fans. He's the voice of Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, and one of my favorites, Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
And that's going to do it for this week's Walt Disney World Word of the Week. I hope you enjoyed this show about Illuminations. I really loved that show. I think it's one of the best nighttime spectaculars Disney's ever done. And it's one that my family and I try to catch each and every trip, unless, of course, the kids are sleeping. Well, actually, if they're sleeping, it makes it a little easier. But then usually with the fireworks, they'll wake up in the stroller and then they'll be up till midnight. It's kind of crazy. But thank you again for listening. I really appreciate it. I hope you really enjoyed this episode, just like I hope you really enjoyed each and every episode that I put out on the Word of the Week and the regular Ear to There podcast. And all I ask is if you did enjoy the show, please tell someone about it. You can spread the word on social media. I make all my blog posts and podcast posts very, very easily shareable. Or please feel free to tell someone in the grocery line or in the pharmacy line or the bank line. Listen, you need some ways to kill the time, right? So spark up a conversation, tell them about the podcast. I really appreciate that. Okay, so before I sign off this week, I wanted to go back to that trivia question that I mentioned earlier in the episode. This is your chance to win a $25 Disney gift card, courtesy of me. And here is your question. Earlier I mentioned that the Morocco Pavilion does not light up during Illuminations. Now, there's a part of a different pavilion that does not light up as well. So what other pavilion has a section that does not light up during Illuminations? So now you're probably saying to yourself, what do I do with this right answer to win this $25 gift card? Here's what you do. Call the voice line at 267-551-1971 with your answer. If you get me the correct answer, you will be eligible for that $25 gift card. If I have multiple answers that are correct, I will randomly select one winner from all those correct entries. Again, that phone number is 267-551-1971. So thank you again so much for listening. And remember, there will be a new Walt Disney World Word of the Week episode each and every Wednesday morning, as well as another Ear to There podcast episode each and every Monday morning. So until next time, have a great week. Bye-bye.